Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of our collaboration series with Breakaway Ray from Starcard Podcast and Matt and Jim from Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot. So I hope everyone is okay. I just wondered, TKB guys, can you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing, what goes on where you are? And I think you're on a farm. What's been happening over there lately?
Okay. What's been going on lately, Matthew?
Uh, we got seeds. What have we
You got
been going
seeds.
for? Just been growing things.
Yeah, we've been growing garlic and planting and sharing seeds, and we sent some seeds, another seed package to a couple of friends.
Yeah.
And but I was telling Matt this morning, I think that's the way, old ancient way it used to be. Seeds are children, right? And so one requirement we have is that when we send seeds to people, and we send them all kinds of different seeds for all kinds of plants, is that they must save their seeds. And then when they get to a point where they got more seeds than they can plant, which will happen pretty soon, they have to give that to someone else. And then they have to tell them that's the same requirement. And I was telling them, I think it's like an old ancient thing. It's something to do with the children. The seeds are the children, and you learn a lot of things. You learn that how what do you call it? Where you're blessed. You got so many seeds. You've got so much uh,
Blessings.
blessings. I mean,
Yeah. The
abundance. People, people,
abundance.
people in this world nowadays think we're all, it's not a problem of food, it's a problem of planters. There's plenty of seeds, and we like I said, we send seeds everywhere, and so we just sent out another package. Or actually, we're going out. But if anything, that's kind of one of our programs is getting people aware of the abundance that truly is, and there is not a shortage. It's just a shortage of planters. Everybody plant,
hmm
and then everybody shall have.
It's like you give a tomato to a person, but if you give them a seed and teach them how to grow it, that's a different type of ordeal you got there. You know, we need planters in the world.
Yeah, that's so true. I used to have an allotment and it was really hard work. And my sister did most of the work for me and I gave up. So yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do the long hours that you guys put in. Yeah, mad. So Breakaway Ray, tell us a bit about what you've got going on at your Star Card podcast, because you are streaming every single day, doing readings for people. So how have you been?
Well, well, thank you very much, Julia. Um, I wish I could do it every day. I sure try several days a week. Um, we've been uh, we've been in the month of February, and we come on the show, we throw tarot cards, we pump people up, we give them another look at things, which is what you do and what the Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot guys do. So I just want to say thanks to all three of you for inviting me to your lunch table. You're cool to hang out with, you're nice, and you're interesting to talk to. So I appreciate it very much. I'd like to ask the Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot guys, we were just talking about agriculture. Are you gentlemen familiar with electroculture?
No, that's a new one for us. We just started getting into um,
Aeroponics,
aeroponics, which is
Ah,
not the other ponics with water, but with a mist spray
yeah.
aerating the roots.
aerating the roots. So that's something we started on. We haven't got anything going in it, but we want to get into that. That really produces a lot more out of like a 5 gallon bucket with a mister. A lot of people are growing food with a lot less water and just a whole lot better production. So
Right.
hmm
I haven't
They're
heard of.
growing, you could grow vertical with aeroponics, right?
Right,
That's
right,
right.
right.
Yep, upside down. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I know you were talking about hydroponics, but if you have not heard of electroculture, it's when you have antenna. See, that's what I thought you guys were doing before
Wow.
you got onto the Zoom meeting. I thought you were trying to fix the aerial on your roof or whatever so that the picture could come through. But anyway, um,
About right.
yeah, what you do is you take a copper wire and you stick it in the ground where your plant is, and you run that up through an aerial, and it collects energy from the ether, and then it helps the plants grow. You barely need sunlight in a way, as long as you have that ether thing going. I mean, I'm
Yes.
surprised that I'm sharing it with you. You guys know about this?
Yes. Now,
Oh,
after
okay.
what you're talking about, because he's pulling one out of the ground
Ah,
and showing.
cool.
There we
Nice.
go.
That one. Hey, you guys know about
Yeah,
this stuff.
kind of hard to
Yeah.
say it, but yeah, it's just a piece of conduit. I just pulled it out of the dirt, but it's got a piece of copper wrapped around it with like an antenna up into the air. And like you're saying, Ray, these are really cool because I mean we're testing them and we're sticking them in our little planters. I mean, like I said, it's just a wrapped piece of copper,
Yeah.
that we just, wrapped around a piece of conduit and we just stuffed this down in the ground. And right now we've got two of these that we're testing. This one I just pulled out. It was surrounded by a bunch of garlic. But anyway, yeah, we're testing that because, we're into the copper. We keep our copper. We keep our
Yeah.
copper everywhere as we go. And Matt
Sweet.
recently made a copper crown. His looks more like the Joker, where
Burger King.
he's got the Burger King. I've got I've got I've got one that's got
Yeah.
6 spikes or 7 spikes for 7 chakras. There's a reason why people used to wear these crowns. That we are kind of thinking it was about royalty, but no, it's
That is awesome.
That's
actually
awesome.
purpose. He's got
I've got a
10.
copper wire tiara that I wear, and I've got a copper pyramid as well for when I do my retreat work. And I'll be getting that out. I've just putting all the bars together. I love my copper pyramid. Yeah.
Right, and
Yeah.
that's what Tata does. She's got like a little copper
Right.
wire she puts around her head, especially if you're on your phone and you're on the internet, putting that wrap around that copper around your head. What it does is the energy that's coming through your head, it's set to a more natural frequency. Same thing with your left arm. The energy that comes from your left will come into you in a more natural frequency. Now she's gonna go get her copper too. I'm gonna go put this up.
Yeah. I soldered peonies.
Oh
19
wow.
right before 1984.
Right.
They're solid coppers, each one of these. But yeah, we grinded it down, kind of made it smooth and such, make it look a
Yeah.
little shinier. Trying to figure out
That's
how to
really
move this.
cool.
Yeah,
Good for you,
and
dude.
it's pretty fun. It was just fun to play with. We had the copper to play with, so we just
Now,
played with it.
now we got two potters in there, two big pots. Both of them have, I think, five, five
I
garlic
can't
each.
find it, but I'll put a
You couldn't
photo
find
out. Yeah.
your little crown,
I can't find
right?
it. It's a tiara.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's cool.
Tara, right? Exactly.
Yeah, I
I was
need to
telling.
find it. I've laid it down somewhere because it's quite fragile because it's just wire wrapped. I can't
Right.
think where it is now.
I was just telling Ray um, we have two two planters, that both have 5 garlic each, and we've installed that wire antenna thing in one of them. And I just looked at the difference, and the one that has the wire is growing better than the ones without. And these were the exact same garlic seeds that he got from a garlic, and he planted 5 in one container, 5 in the other. So, we got a really good test, and it's already showing good promise that it works.
That's really cool to see.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
I want to say you might see an improvement in your performance the more copper you spool and wire around it. So anyway, congratulations. You guys are awesome. That's really cool. Someday I'm going to ask you for seeds. I'm just not ready to ask for seeds. I got to decide where I'm going to plant. But that'd be really cool. I'd love to have some. I know you got good seeds. Julia, did you want to talk about the cosmic dragon before I start firing questions?
Yeah. Can we do that? Can we
Okay.
tune into Cosmic Dragon? And I just wanted to get like a personal message and a message for humanity or whatever comes through. That'd be great. So, have you had much contact with Cosmic Dragon lately?
For me, I haven't. Well, since the other time was CERN in December or sometime. One night it felt like middle of the night, something blast and a spark of light, and I woke up with light, and I recognized from last time it was like possible CERN doing its collider thing, and that was that time period I reconnected to him. That last time I connected to him, but I haven't really worked with him much besides passing it over to him. The black goo from CERN and such, it's what the energetically feeling off of it. I went to the CERN area and checked it out and put my hand out, and I received the black goo that was built or whatever. The essence of the black goo, whatever they created from colliding or whatever, And I picked it up and went back up to the top of the atmosphere, and I was like, I asked him this last time, was like, man, am I actually doing anything or anything? And he's like, yeah, you're actually doing something. You're helping. And just do what you know and continue on with what you're doing. Even though you feel like you're dumb for doing something, we'll recognize when you're feeling those things, those are tags that are around you that's trying to distract you from getting your mission done.
Yeah, I
So there's
agree.
a spiritual mission and there's a physical aptitude that we have to go against. And the
Yeah.
physical world has a lot of tags in it. So you have to work against the winds, work against the natural flow of the physical world sometimes to
Mm.
get the spirit to prevail. If that makes sense. Probably not
Yeah,
too
yeah.
extravagant, but
So
yeah.
I get clients that come in for tag removal and things like that. Yeah, for sure. So I was talking with John Whitberg yesterday about black goo and it's and the deposits in Tule Island. I don't know if you guys saw that. I think one of you was
Yes, we
there.
watched
Yeah,
it.
and um
Hmm.
and so that was really interesting to know that it's a conscious goo, right? And that once it's in your system, it never leaves your system and all that kind of stuff. It's like wow, because I drink Pepsi and I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure there's black goo in Pepsi, and a soup soldier I'm full of black goo anyway. So yeah, that's mad. But yeah, interesting that they're
Hmm.
making the black goo. They're interacting and making it. The sun.
Yes, it seems like it's a black matter, dark matter, but
Mm.
it's the byproduct of making that, and they have to keep it contained in some type of magnet and electricity and a certain type of metal that contains it and such like that.
Wow.
And but the energy essence behind it is what I picked out of it. They might have collected it,
Mm.
and they might still be able to push it through. But I think whenever I collected the energy essence of the black goo, I
Yeah.
gave it to that dragon, and he um, recognized where and what he can do with it. So he went and sent it out of the universe. And from what I'm recognizing, is he restranded the black goo into something of a better frequency and then brought
Oh.
it back. So whenever they put that black goo in, like certain people, they put that black goo into anything that they put or whatever they're building with, that energy essence comes back with a different frequency, which should change the ability of it affecting people in a bad way, but more into a natural way in the long run. Now, the short term, of course, you'll have your adverse effects, but those are training, learning small energies and such like that. That makes sense.
I
Let
like that idea.
me
Yeah.
let me fill you guys in. He's left out. I guess we haven't talked about that before. We never really briefed you guys on what happened that time. But there's some few things when you went and got the goo, you made like a black flash or something, which got them kind of like thinking, "Oh, great, something's happening." And at that point, you were able to remove the essence. Now, of course, they did their funky dance and all that weird stuff you were telling us about, but you left. But the thing is they still they thought they had they had it, but they don't have what they thought they have, which I think is
Yeah.
pretty cool.
They don't have the long term effects of what they wanted to have. They wanted the pure innocence of it. And whenever I gave that innocence to the dragon, he changed the frequency so the innocence protected. And then he brought it back into the black goo. Now, for the long term purpose, it works, but short term, it still affects you. But that was the second time I came around to him. That was the first time. What he's described was the first time, and that was the time whenever I was first recognizing what's going on, and I went there, and I was coming in with full like my power of securing myself and those around me, and not going to get affected by others. So I came in with really hard authority of like not getting tracked on the way back, trying to leave the place. So I came in with the big black flash of light and I didn't mess around. I wanted to make sure I did at the right timing and certain things. And yeah, I'm not going to explain. And then whenever I showed up, whenever I heard the snap, I had the dream. First thing I thought, try to get there and re create that flash, but in blackness back to them so I can go through and pick up whatever I need to get and get above this earth as fast as I could. So that's why I did. I went there, saw what I saw, the energy trails, the lingering energies, which was possibly them dancing and such, and trying to create this atmosphere of something. And then I went with the black light. As I prevailed through behind the light, I picked up the black goo and then went above the earth as fast as I could, and that's whenever I was like hovering above the Earth type of deal, the atmosphere, and I was like, "What am I gonna do now?"
Then you ask
And
God.
then
Yeah.
exactly, I asked Guy, I was like, "Do you want this?" And Guy is like, "Doesn't matter to me. I'll figure out how to fix it eventually one day. Hopefully, it'll be kind of hard if I just get it back to me." So I was like, "Well, okay, you don't really want it right now, I'll look behind me and figure out if there's something else." And then though, that's when the celestial dragon came in, and I said, "Do you want this? Could you do any good with this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I could retune it, right? I could refix it. I could take it in and do it. I could do something with it." Is what he giving me information as. And so I was like, "Okay, cool." So I brought my hand up like that, and he came down with his hand, with his claw foot, and went like that. And he has feathers on the outside of his claws. So he was able to pick up the goo, and then the feathers picked up the rest of it off my hand and perfectly like cleaned up my hand type of deal while he took it away. And he went on around the moon, the earth, and then flew on out to wherever he went. And that's when I went back to the body. And yeah, that was that dream. I went back to the body and all was good. I checked my energy and I was clear from the CERN and energy tags and such like that. So I was like, all right, cool.
So
Then the second time around is whenever I
when you see
was just,
yourself doing that, what do you look like? Because I have a vision of what you look like to me. So when you're experiencing that, what do you look like?
I really don't know what I look like. I just look like, I don't know. I just
So
feel like myself. I don't really look at
okay,
myself.
so I
That
saw
makes
you very clearly like the Silver Surfer, but you're made of black stars. And I've seen myself like that cosmic creator being because I've
oh,
experienced looking like that myself. So this is you in your cosmic creator being form. Yeah, that's amazing.
oh wow.
So it's like
Oh, that's
the
pretty cool.
closest I've ever seen to it is in the cartoon show Ben 10, and then there's these beings and they're just made of stars. It's like it's just blackness but with stars moving within them. That's kind of how I see you, like a Silver Surfer but made of stars. Yeah. Sorry, I just thought I'd share that.
Dang. That's pretty cool. That does feel right because I can't really see myself for some reason.
Yeah, yeah,
Probably
yeah.
because it's like the darkness.
Yeah, as soon
I,
as
wa-
you said that
I, wa-
black light, then I could see you step through it very clearly. Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
That's probably
that's
when
really
I
cool.
might have stepped into me because the
Yeah.
next time around when I went and do the CERN thing again, I didn't have to show up with the black light. I might have just
Mhm.
stepped into my form and just
Yeah,
like turned to black man.
yeah, for sure.
Yep. I want to tell you something he does here to protect us. Because you're like, what? How do you get, what he does here is he binds a portal to a portal so that when they come through this portal, they hit this portal and they go somewhere else. But he has to bind portals to portals to keep anybody from coming in and tracking them back to here. You probably never heard of that. I've never heard of it. Matt was the only one that
No, that's pretty
he
awesome.
figured out how to do that. Yeah, he did try a mirror,
hmm
but they found a ways through.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they bust the mirrors every time.
They
They
missed it.
kept on busting the mirrors. I had to figure out to make the portal connect to the other portal because I don't want them to track back to me or
Yeah.
my family members or whoever. So I binded it tight around the seals. It's the whole outside. The inside doesn't matter. It's the whole outside. And once I binded it down, they are able to travel to this other area. I
So
Yeah.
was
it
trying to go
shipped them
to.
on.
It ships them off to. It's. Oh,
Where you
Yeah.
so they.
It's
Okay.
where you
Well, I
shipping
have
them
to
to?
tell the story then if I'm going because it really, it's
yeah.
one of those
Tell the
things. Like,
story because I can
We're
see that.
we're
Like it's
excited because
like
you guys will open up all kinds of
changing
stuff that we wouldn't even thought about opening up.
right. We love it. And this was when. Okay, since I'm gonna tell the story, it was an elementary. I think I was like in third grade or second. Okay, maybe later. It was before third grade, and I was dealing with these little ghosts or demonic little black shadows or whatever. Watch a movie and then you felt like something. Watch a scary movie and you feel like there's that little boogeyman that's here or there. So that was the type of deal what I was having during the time. But I went and tried to track back them and chase them down. I wanted to figure out how to work against these energies. And I was recognizing I was doing some energy work with the portals and such like that. And there was people I didn't like that I closed the portal because they weren't of goodwill. So I wasn't messing with that. And then those people was getting mad at me for closing these portals down. So I put up a mirror and said, well, then reflect back at yourself and adjust yourself and then come through, and a good light. And they came through busting the mirror. And that's why I got mad. I was like, nah, man, you ain't just going to bust my mirror and stuff. You move it to the side or something, don't be just like, if you're going to come in demanding like that, then yeah, automatically you ain't coming in good spirits, So I closed up. I didn't close up nothing. I created another portal, and this portal was to the base that I was trying to flow these people through, these super soldiers or whoever, I was trying to push these people through the portal and try to get them to this one place. So instead of them coming to me, then to the portal or something like that, I connected the two portals together. So the flow is just a flow, always a flow, if that makes sense. Trying to remember where I was trying to go with that, but
Well, you were okay. So you started in elementary school. I think you chased them down, and you were trying to get to the point where right now you learned how to bound the mirror because they were breaking the mirrors, and then you bound a portal to a portal.
hmm
So you're coming up from there. So how did that affect what you did? How you learned? Is that what you were saying? You're trying to get to how you learned to bound the mirror, or was it?
Yeah, I think that's you explained how you sealed the
think
two together, used your intuition or whatever.
yeah,
I mean, I followed it, and I want to say I've also watched a video of yours, gentlemen, like a long time ago, where you told the story about CERN and how you met the dragon and handed off that garbage. I like how
cool.
the dragon knows we're gonna plant a virus, we're gonna reformulate it and send it back. That was a good idea. I mean, viruses is like that's like a practical technological thing. I didn't mean
hmm
to interrupt your story, but anyway, I
You're good.
follow. I want to, as long as I'm talking, I heard about somebody else. It was actually Jimmy Payne, Julia. I know you know who Jimmy Payne is. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jimmy Payne. He would show up on Super Soldier Talk with
Yeah,
James Rink a lot, and he
I think
talked
so.
about the war in Southeast Asia. And I bet your dad knows a lot about this. It wasn't just obviously a human war. There was an ET war going on. There was like some demons and stuff. But he was talking about they would get the helicopter and they would, I mean, this is going to be kind of gruesome. They painted it in blood, but not just any kind of blood. It would be the blood of someone who's terrified. So you know that adrenochrome count is like jacked up. And that would draw the demons to them. And then what he would say is like they'd have the side door open on the helicopter, they'd have a giant mirror, and when these demons would come at them, they would fly at the mirror. But then the trick is you got to cover the mirror. You got to wrap it in a blanket or put it in a sack because then they can't get
Mhm.
out. I just wanted to share that because you were talking about mirrors. You know how to use them or whatever. I don't know if you know anything about that part. I'm happy to share. Thanks a
Mhm.
lot. Thanks a
That's
lot for giving.
amazing, Ray. I've not heard that before. That's really incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's the same type of ordeal I do see. It's like I don't want to break mirrors whenever there was some energy tag that was inside of it. Like Constantine, he did like that movie. Um,
Oh
he
yeah.
captured a
That movie,
demon
so
and then he
scary.
busted the mirror. For some reason, I don't see that being completely true, but there was a lot of that to be true. But there's an aspects about it that I don't know what. There's like something I'm supposed to learn more about that. But um, go ahead.
Okay. Okay.
Sorry.
I was gonna say I got 3 points. I'm gonna try to keep up. I'm taking notes and trying to keep up because you guys opening up things, and then Matt opens up stuff, and then it reminds me of
I'm
stuff, and
taking
then I have
notes
to
as
bring in
well. I'm taking notes as well.
right. Okay.
Yo, I
First
got
of
notes.
all,
I got notes. We haven't even started yet, so I just let
yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Right. All right. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to. I just want to get too far behind on my notes because I forget what I wrote down. First of all, we have a video. It's a short, and it's called Matt Opening Portal. And you'll take a look at it. It's a green daggone portal. He opened up above his room, the video's camera. He was doing something in his
Burning
room,
tobacco.
burning tobacco. But you can go watch. It's a short. It's called Matt's Opening Up Portals, and it's a green portal that opens up above his room. Or outside security's cameras caught it, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. Anyway, take a look at that. Right.
Thanks.
And then I don't think we've talked about, but you guys can expound about it or Matt can expound about it. If we haven't talked about it, the box that the leprechaun gave him, where he's got all of his magic mirrors and where he's got all of his tricks and where he does all of his stuff and he shares that box.
Mhm.
You guys can open that up with him if you want to.
So, like,
And
I
then,
have a fear of leprechauns. I'm not sure why. I just do. And there was a movie, And that really spooked me. My brother's a lot older than me in the UK, and he made me watch this leprechaun movie, and it scared the bejesus out of me. So, have we spoken about leprechauns before? What are they like?
They're like clowns.
Uh,
They're jokers. They're funny. They're not. It's like you know
they're
how
like
the clowns
Loki.
are.
They're like
Clowns could
Loki,
be
tricky.
very well. You could keep thinking that they're very tricky, but they're very playful. Like you got to
Okay.
figure out which clown you're dealing with because sometimes you have the bad clown and you have the good clown. You got the
Uh,
happy clown and you got the sad clown, right? Same with the um, God, what industry that
Leprechaun.
plays, but yeah, but the leprechaun. They're just the one I dealt with. He was very direct. I mean, it's like let me think here. It's like dealing with a smart old man or a really hoppy person that's like very direct and know what they're doing and they're not gonna turn away from it. So that's the type of people you deal with a leprechaun.
Before we jump into the leprechaun, start breaking that down. Let me. The last note was he got fired for running the portals.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when he was young, he was running portals, because they would call him up in his sleep, and you know how that works. And I think he was telling me that they got aggravated, or you didn't like the attitude of the people coming and going out of the portal because it just didn't feel right. They weren't thankful. They wasn't, so he ended up closing the portal, and I guess there were some people in it. And I guess that whacked them. But anyway, then he got fired and never used him again. I know Julie would
oh
think that
my
was funny.
God.
So yeah. So he got fired.
I got fired
They
quick.
didn't want to hire him for that. And on the leprechaun, I would add another note is that what we had stopped. We were driving in the car. We were driving down the road, and at that time he was talking to trees, and we had stopped at a red light, and there was a cedar tree right there to the right of us, 20 foot away. And I said, Matt, what is that tree? What is that cedar tree? What's going on with that tree? You can talk to the trees when you're sitting there on the side of the road. And anyway, that was when the leprechaun
Jumped in the window.
jumped from the cedar tree and came jumping into his window. But go ahead.
Yeah, he jumped right onto the windowsill and said, here's this box. Take it. This is yours.
Just gave it to you. Boom.
Boom. This is yours. Take it. Yeah, that's what he said. This is yours. Take it. That's the first thing he did when he jumped in. I looked down like, freak, what the heck am I going to do with this box? It was in my hands. I was like, what am I doing with this box? Okay. And later on, eventually, I recognized it's the one that has all the it's a Joker box. I'm just now recognizing now.
The Joker tools.
It got all the Joker tools. It got everything. It just like you got springs shooting out this shooting. But what it is like mirrors, a bunch of mirrors. I was able to spring out a mirror here, spring out a mirror here, and
Yeah.
it's like a prism of light, certain type of crystals. And what it does is like anybody I'm dealing with, I'm able to send their energy light or how their thinking process to this mirror and it'll reflect to the thought that they're trying to go to instead of getting derailed and going to a source that it's not really going straight to the spot. I was able to put them on the rails straight to what they're looking for.
Yeah, and what he's talking
Wow.
about is like when we're doing a live or something, he's having to run his mirrors during the show because people are coming through and they want information, they want to know. And so what he does is he manages while he's talking, he's putting up and sending people to the source of what they need. And so
Ah,
that's Matt does
wow.
that. That's during like when on lives because there'll be a lot of people seeking, and he can just like here's where you
Yeah.
go, here's who you talk to, here's who you need to talk to.
That's
Yes.
amazing. Have you guys watched the TV show Lost Girl, the Canadian show with the Fae?
I heard about it, but I didn't watch it.
Okay,
Like I
it's
saw the
recommended
previews or
everybody.
something.
Such a good show. But there's a character who represents Loki, and he creates a box. He creates this box, and they kind of get trapped in a little world within the box. But it's just reminding me of what the leprechaun gave you. It has multi uses, like you can put people in there and stuff, create universes in it and things. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, watch Lost Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
watch very few movies. I'm just not.
Well, it's a series, and it's Canadian, I think. So it was on Netflix for a long time. That's how I watched it. And then it moved on to Prime, and I don't know where you can get it now. But Lost Girl is very good. Yeah.
Yeah, the only thing we watch is Ray and you, and that's it. Nothing else.
Sweet.
Y'all are the
Typical skeptic.
information
That's what
holders.
Typical skeptic. Yeah. Yeah, you can find me on Typical Skeptic every day. That's mad. Okay. Ray, did you want to have a look at your questions?
Well, I know that last time we spoke, we were going to talk about the Vril. and
Yeah.
maybe you gentlemen have prepared something you want to tell us about the Vril. I mean, I could acquaint the audience in case the Vril are new to you. It's not something we study in school, and I don't even know if I have all the information straight, but I know that Vril is an earth energy, maybe even an inner earth energy, and it's something that we can all tap into. The Vril seem to be tied into some kind of reptilian species, as far as I know. I mean, I don't know. I didn't read it in any book. I didn't really pursue much research because we're going to get the straight dope right from Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot. And I don't want to forget to ask about Maria Orsich when we, how does she fit in with the Vril? All right, let's have it, gentlemen. I'm ready.
Okay, I'm going to break into it. Then I'm going to give it to Matt to give you the details because, we started studying the Vril with that guy named Matthew something. I know Julie knows his name, but he's on the way. I get most of his
Matthew
Marshall.
information.
Morgan.
Matthew
Morgan.
Marshall.
Marshall
Oh.
something.
Oh, I don't know.
Matthew Marshall. Yeah, I pull his information mainly from the Wayback Machine. I do actually have a link on a post way on down there where you can go. You have to go to the Wayback Machine where he talks about the Vril a lot more than anybody. I think it got washed up. A lot of the stuff about the Vril has been completely washed out. But these are they're real beings that live underground, and there's something to do with the German society that goes back to the Vril. And the thing is, our Bigfoots actually have to deal with them. And we've been warned, if you're down in a cave and you're here scratching, get the hell out. Because these things actually come up, and they do come up, and our Bigfoots do deal with them. They would rather deal with a Vril than a man, but anyway, that's beside the point. The thing is they are actual things that live underground. As far as and I don't know, if that's the thing that they put between in the eye program. I think Vril is something to do with that. Go ahead, because it's like where they come out the middle of the forehead and all that kind of cool stuff. Okay, here we go. Let's go now.
So yeah, from what what I was saying was because this is new information I'm getting from Scott and Gaia, because Gaia, I'm getting that information because she's underground and such like that, and Scott, he dealt with them. And Scott's the Bigfoot that we deal with. He has Scottish type of blood in him. So, but you have two types of Vrils. You have the masculine form Vril and the feminine form of Vril. And the masculine, I can't say man or female whenever I'm doing this, besides telling you the energy of what it is. So I don't know if it's a man in the physical form or a female in the physical form, but the masculine energy is the bigger Vril, and the feminine energy is a smaller Vril, and he's about that big. The bigger size Vril is huge. He's about, not huge, a whole lot smaller than my thought of huge. Okay, I recognize I'm dealing with underground, so the soil is smaller, so more compressed. It's about half the table, so he's about that big to the one that's about that big, female. And the female, it got these little babies that comes off of them. Not babies, diseases or something like that. What do you want to call it? It's like the algae or something like that that gets stuck to them. Something that carries on them. It's like a parasite or something like that. That's on the Vril, on these types of Vrils. And that's what they use to take off the Vril and put it in the eye of somebody. But it travels through the blood. You might get crossed over with blood clots because the Vril is what caused the blood to clot. If you look at the starting point of the blood clot, you might be able to find an actual small little something that actually clogged up the blood. That's what I'm saying. That's why the eye turns full red, because there was a blood clot that clogged up an area where the back filling of the eye turns red. So that's what happened there, is what I'm seeing. So there's three types of Vril. But the main one, well, they're all, I think I explained them all, actually. If that helps.
And so
Any
Right,
questions?
the masculine, you have the masculine and the feminine and the little parasite that could cause a blood clot with a petechial hemorrhaging in the eye.
Right. And many other things that happens in the body.
So how does it take the consciousness of that individual, or does it?
It connects within the brain and then the eye. So it sees, it visualizes, and it thinks on one side of your hemisphere of your brain. And I don't know if it'll do both sides of your hemisphere, because the body has to function. So you have to have half your brain connected to the body and to the spirit, and then the other half could be like a drone flying. The other half of the brain could be a drone flyer, which is the Vril that connects in there and does its will, you know? So you have two wills. The house gets divided in the head, if that makes sense. You know, you got your will, and then you got a tag will, or um yeah, just demonic
You know what?
will, if that makes sense, I guess.
I got a question because that seems kind of contrived to me that our human brains are in two hemispheres like this. Because from what I understand, not all human brains are divided that way. We have the corpus callosum that joins our two hemispheres, but not all brains are like that. So it's almost set up so that the Vril can hijack a human body, a human brain that way. Am I being too conspiratorial, or am I on the right track here?
I think you're on the right track. That does sound right. I feel like from Gaia, naturally, our brains are supposed to be as one. It's supposed to be an equal bridge. Jesus even coming in saying that's where you get your kundalini and your chakras, and you line up, and you're actually able to get an open thinking going on, and you're able to have clear visions and figure out what you want to do throughout your day and lives and such, is because both of your left and right comes together, and now you're able to forecast into the future on what direction projection you want to live throughout your day for that day, right? And then there's these genetics that goes down the line that they've been trying to breed up, which is breeding down of the human species races. They want to call it species. That's interesting. Those people are, oh, that makes sense. They're the ones that wants to create species of humans, which is not, we are a race, so we all are our own, you know. So we're supposed to own our own, but they want to create a species of man, which has a genetics of having a split mind, a left and a right, polarized. See, there's no left or right. What Jesus is showing me, he's showing me that it's like a quarter, head and tails. You have truth and false. The head is true as what a head could be, and you have the bird, the eagle on the tail side, free as it ever be, creative. But that's just a showing face of what good is and what bad is. There's no such thing as good or bad. It's just what the face is. It's what these things are. Um, so you have your left and right. It's just you have a left and a right. It's not that they're not connected. They are connected, but they want to divide that and give you the paradigm good and bad, a split of your mind, of emotions, a negative and a positive. There's no negative or positive. It's just how you act to the negative or positives in your life to create a better positive in your life. And that's where the Vril tries to split, and the type of people, races that are trying to make humans into species, they're trying to divide us into lower thinking
This is really
by
wonderful. I
genetics.
can't wait to watch the video. I'm wondering what does the Vril gain by doing what they do to humans? What do they gain from that?
All right. That's a good question, because what I've been recognizing, and God's kind of confirming, and God, his energy is my higher self, and my higher self is God. The way I was seeing from Jesus and from anybody, from Gaia and such, it's, he's like your brother, it's yourself. He gives you a spirit that you could talk to, so you can almost classify that as God himself. So that's with yourself. You can talk to God yourself, you know. But that's besides the point. The thing about the Vril, he's naturally what he is. He was given a vessel. The Vril was given a vessel because of the overdeers and the underdeers deeds, good deeds to bad deeds, that people that does it. Because of those polar opposites happening so much, something has to be created for the duality to balance out. So the Vril had to come in spirit form into the physical form. It created itself first, and then in spirit, and then it created itself in the physical form. So it is a natural thing, but they like to get their hands on this natural thing and genetically make it modified to more of a high, something that they just desire for that doesn't treat them well, if that makes sense. You know, like you get high off of something fully up in your head and then you lose your physical world. That's the type of attitudes that they want to put on this Vril and get most of the high off of it. Actually, the Vril is very innocent, is what I'm hearing, seeing. The Vril is just a parasite that wants to stay underground, but when it gets above ground and gets compressed inside of a brain and in between the cells and such like that, it's able to find its habitat. So its natural habitat is in the head or in the ground, but or inside of a animal and such like that, you know. But they can't live long for long in there. They have to be replaced every 5, 10, uh, between 5 or 10 years average, because different for every person. The Vril will pass away and rot, and then that's when the brain downloads gets corrupt in certain ways where the dysfunctions happen in the person's mind and such. They've learned that in 1837. They learned that in 1837 about the Vril doing that, when they're doing the genetics on the Vril.
Interesting.
So-
Learn something every day.
I did not know none of that.
They did. None of us did.
I don't
So,
know.
I
We'll
have
see.
more questions. So this dynamic, I don't know if you guys agree with me on this, but we talked last time about the Scorpion King, and he turned out he wasn't like a bad dude. He was kind of cool. He was doing everyone a favor, and it feels like the Vril are there almost in the same capacity. I don't know if you kind of see a similarity.
Yeah, well, I do see your similarities, but they are the difference, of course.
Yeah.
Because yes, the Vril is wants to naturally be underground, wants to naturally just live the way they want to live, like anything. Like a chicken wants to fly. I mean, a bird wants to fly. Chickens, sorry, but um, and then the Scorpion King, he has purpose, power, will, God's power, human power, manpower, thought power to provoke him into doing things in this world. So there's a difference of the power behind those two. One's animalistic and one's humanistic. I don't know what you would call it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Got purpose,
Um,
but yeah.
So, in 1837, you say that were there some humans that were discovering this? And would this have been in Bavaria, Germany, maybe?
It wasn't discovered. It was known for since the 1600s, but they had some civilizations up and downs in between to where they, you know, now where they come back to find the Vril and now wants to, um, what's that word? Build them.
Hibernate 'em.
We've been working with the word. I just forgot what the word was just now. Um, manipulate them or, um, genetically modify them. Yeah.
Ah,
In 1837, they wanted to genetically modify them, relearn what's going on with the Vril, because there was a lot of relearning stuff going on during that time period for this new world, because there's a lot of people that wanted to control the world and a lot of people wants to live in a free world. So there was a big great divide in between that time period, I believe, in between the 1800s to the 1600s, because that's not 16, that was 1750s or something like that, when there was a divide. 1720s maybe, actually, when the divide happened, for the civilizations to break away and do those type of good works or bad works for the future of the humanity, because that's when that agenda was starting to come out, I believe. That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
so this genetic modification, was it taking place worldwide or was it in a specific location?
In Germany. Yeah, you were saying Germany. Let me feel. Um, they have to test it in different places. They had to pick up each one in different places. They had to find them in different places. So, yes, Germany was one of them, but they also had to do the island of England. They had to do Russia on one end, and then southern end, which is Asia, and then I think Egypt, somewhere's around there in Egypt. Then you go to Africa and some places in, oh no, not many places in Africa. Um, southern tip of Africa. Um, nothing in South America, but United States was a big one. They had three places in the United States alone. Um, Rocky Mountains, the Plains, and then the Appalachian.
That sounds
Now,
right. I'm going to think about the
very restrictive information. They're being restrictive on that for some reason. But
I want to thank you for that information. It's totally intriguing. I mean, you talked about, the Rockies. I'm thinking of Denver Airport, the Appalachian. That's like your hood. And then what was the third place again?
the
I just forgot.
Plains,
Yeah,
the
the Plains.
middle.
I'm like St. Louis.
Oh,
Old World City.
I'm
wow.
I'm jumping in one second here. I was looking at my
Yeah.
notes here. Now they say that Vril was used. I'm reading about Vril societies trying to get notes to see what's going on, and backing up and looking at what you're talking about. They said that they were the Vril power enabled them to use telepathy and telekinesis. What do you think?
That's why they were working with the brain because they're trying to produce a um they're super soldiers. That was the super soldier projects when they were starting that time period in 73. Oh, that was prior from 30 1737. Sorry for saying 73. 1737. They started the super soldier in 1705. Why can't I say oh 05 or 305? But yeah, that's when the super soldier program started. Not really started, but was getting recognition and more known or having more authority into the direction that they were using the Vril to use mind pow what's that? Oh, that's an acronym. Mm. I'm trying to figure yeah. Um it's like it's mind control um civilization. Those are not the actual words, but if you look for those definitions in each one of those words, you'll find the true acronym back then. He's She's showing me that that's a very touchy topic that has to be looked up instead of spoken for some reason. But can tell you that the Vril was to control the mass populations around the world. The Vril was implemented before the TV set. That's clear.
Well.
That was excellent.
Wonder if
So
Vril is like, I don't want to ask questions. Go ahead, sorry, I'm playing.
yeah, I love this. I can't wait to hear this all over again. But it's clear that in the 1800s and the 1700s, there was some kind of technology, and last time we talked, you guys kind of hinted that it got taken away, it got gypped, we got robbed or whatever. But clearly, there's like a lot of technology we would consider as advanced and beyond us, but it was around a couple hundred years ago.
hmm And to add to that, the Abraham Lincoln Memorial, that big old building, where do they
Yeah.
get all that stone from? They had to pull it in somewheres. Same with all the other buildings. Where did they get the big stonework? Now, was it just little pieces, little square, I don't know, 4x4 sheets? Well, then, okay, that's understandable, but those pieces look pretty solid rock.
Yeah.
Big rocks, some of it looks like it was lathed in other countries and such. So it's like,
We have
We've had technology all the time.
the
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
stone, the stone that was for not, it's around the Empire States Building. I can't think what it is now. What's gone out of my mind? But they quarried here, literally where I am, to take stone over to America, right? So that's really interesting. I'm going to look into that and see what the stone is at Abraham Lincoln statue. It's gone out of my mind. There's like they won't let me see.
Mm, that's interesting. That makes sense. That stone had to been. I don't feel that stone being off of this land in America, anyways. So that's interesting you're saying that because they probably did shipped a lot. I do see a lot of correlations of the Grand Canyons, all that dirt that got removed, a big old mining operation. It got moved off of this side of the country onto the other side of the hemisphere, which is like Russia or somewheres out there, almost one of the Philippines island was built. Like they built some islands with that, um, with all that dirt that they stole from the Grand Canyons. Well, they had rights to, I can't say stole, they had rights at the time to take the dirt for their building, which was about before Jesus, way on back, about extra 4,000 years prior. That's what I'm seeing. That was that time period.
I got one for you, man. I'm reading over here. They said that Vril was used in Atlantis. They said that the people in Atlantis used it. Uh, the Secret Doctor in 1888, she describes how the in inhabitants of Atlantis had used Vril to build colossal structures. Any thoughts on that?
That's the big frill.
That's the big Vril.
Yeah, those are the diggers. That's the one that Scott says you'll hear them on the ground coming, and you better be out of the ground before they do, because you'll hear them. They go, and that's them scooping out the dirt and throwing it behind them, or something like that. The way it sounds, the way he's showing me. But those creatures, when you pull them out of the ground, they are able to withstand to stretch and move and work, and their hands are carvers. They carve anything that they want. They will go straight through hard granite like it's sand. They will dig straight through hard granite like it's sand. So that's interesting that you're saying that they built colossals.
Right. I'll read the rest of this because it's amazing. It says, after the fall of Atlantis, a small group of surviving priests would have preserved this knowledge and only passed it on to a select few. The psychic energy should therefore allow the mastery of all nature. So this is backing up what you're saying. They would probably with this. So that might be your builders. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Now I got to think about that one.
Yeah, that's a big one. They're See, the Vril wants to be set free. They're just animals. That's interesting. They want to be just by themselves on the ground and doing their own thing, but they're being fully controlled by some type of corporation or some other type of. I need some water, but hold up. But
By a
okay.
corporation, you just went to say a corporation. That's interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yes,
Yeah.
because that's where the genetic energy is actually lining up to. It is some type of corporation. It's the
Yeah.
lead corporation. It's the one that originated. So who it is, we still don't know, right? It's that lead corporation.
Is it corporations? They were taking the core and rationing it,
Corporation out the core.
corporations. But anyway, sorry.
Oh, cool.
Or
Okay, so
corpse.
what
Mm.
about we know there's some corporations been around for a few thousand years, like the Monarch Corporation. Could Monarch Corporation be messing around with the Vril?
Um, mm, they do, but they
Okay.
weren't the first.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Uh, I, the first one is the one that created the corporations. It was those groups of men of some type that gathered firstly to create an agenda against the race of the physical humans and such, to be the richest man in the world, own the world. almost feels like that's not quite true and to a sense of those certain type of definitions, but energetically majority of it is. Um, he is the Monarch Corporation. About three of the dudes was around that first round table. So the other guys were new to the Monarch table. And they don't know what those three dudes knew. So it'll give you an idea that even the Monarch Corporation is still controlled by another leader,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah, sure does. Maybe it shouldn't, but it does make sense. So, I got, a couple more questions about the Vril that seem to be going right in line with what we're talking about here. I'd like to know what part of Matt's brain is receiving and transmitting.
My pinky toe. But what I'm doing is it my brain? I'm trying to figure out. My blood. I feel it from the blood. The blood has the minerals, and it connects to the minerals of the earth. So I'm connecting more to Gaia than I would be connecting to any part of my body. It's really just the power of the enzymes. I heard it from the tree down below. So that's where I'm possibly feeling it right now. It's just through the power of the enzymes, my body, my blood, the certain type of minerals turn into a tuning fork, and it receives and transmit the energies that it's getting, and it purifies. It's frequencizing it. My brain's the one that frequencies the information that comes through. It puts it back into language form. So I transmit from the blood, and I receive from the blood, and I amp it through the brain. Which, if it's coming from my blood, I assume my heart is the part that's pumping it to the brain. So it receives and attracts and puts out to the brain of what it's receiving, and then my brain um, reads the information and then translate to English that I understand in terms and words that I understand to try to explain it to those around out of the
That was
voice that comes.
that was a beautiful, wonderful explanation. What it reminds me of is, of course, I was a school teacher for a long time, and I'd have to explain how sound and sight work. These organs receive the messages like your blood does, okay? And then the
Yeah.
signals are sent to the brain, and the brain formulates them so that you understand them. We're never taught to use our blood as a sense and as a way to send and receive messages. But our blood is, like you say, it's got minerals, it's electrified, it's connected to our aura. So transmission should be capable for everybody. You're just very, very practiced at it because you've been doing it for so long. Have I got that correct, you think?
You're right on it because I recognize everybody does it all the time. My dad was just doing it, I think, 2 nights ago, whenever he was giving thanks to his ancestors, Gaia, and so many other people. He felt the need to do it. So what I was seeing was he was actually receiving the time, and his heart was calling, his blood was calling to transmit some information, transmute some information, to make clean of information. So he went and through his blood, out of love, out of his true heart, went out to every one of these people, ancestors, brothers, sisters, whoever, and so on to Gaia. And he transmitted the information that he felt was true to them so that they may feel better about the ordeal. So we all do it, even when we give thanks. It's like Reiki energy, supposedly, I was hearing. I don't even know Reiki, by the way, but I hear a lot about it.
Yeah, I know Reiki.
uh, you're Reiki, okay. It's good.
Well, the thing is, Matt said something the other day that made sense to me.
Mm,
The this energy that he accesses, whether it be God or higher self or whatever,
mm,
it's a very relaxed energy. So that's when, if you stay relaxed, you're connected to it, And in that time when I did it last night too. I basically opened a table and said, "Come on, anybody that wants to, anybody in my life, anybody in the spirit, flesh or not, I don't even care. If you want to talk, come on." And then and in my head, I would just someone and I'd start talking to them, whether it be Gaia or George or I talk to about everybody. Like I said, spirit or not, flesh or not, and it just, I don't even know how, but I know. And I'm like, I was talking to example, I was talking to George the Giant, and I was like, in your life, there's those that you agree with and those that you don't disagree with, and maybe find peace and go forward. But how did I know that? I don't know ideal. I go with that relax. When you relax, you're actually in that energy, but you will give these things that come back and forth in your mind that tries to pull you out of that relaxed state, which pulls you away from that truth that you are accessing. And like one of our friends that had died, and I couldn't remember her name, and I was like, "It doesn't matter. I don't remember your name." And but I'm talking. I told her. I said, "Well, she had committed suicide." And I said, "The reason you left this body was because you were too big for it, and it's cool,
Yeah.
And we, I said, it hurts us that we can't spend time with you, but I get why you left." And so, those were as people came, or like I said, whether it be in flesh or not, I just seen them and I started talking to them, and I just knew what was going on with them, and I spoke it. And like you said, that kind of changed some vortexes and stuff. And I'm like, what? This is crazy. I wouldn't, we have the ability to connect to this truth. We just have to, like I said, they call it meditation, but just stay relaxed and let it flow. Just let it flow. It is just a flow in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like as far as God could see, you're good. He could see you. As far as God could see, he could see you. It was um see, I'm trying to remember what I was trying to say now because I'm trying to follow up with you what you're saying. Oh, God mode. Yeah, that's what he's talking about. You step into your calmness. You step into your God mode. God wants to be the enforcer in your life. And what I explain what God is, it's yourself that's older, that recognize you as yourself that's still here in the physical form, not in the future where you're on the other side, right? So in the future of your other side, that's your God mode, yourself, that wants to step in and naturally let things flow right. Um, I'm whether it's in the future or not, it doesn't really matter. It still feels like God straight up wants to. He cannot work through me or anybody or you or anybody if you don't keep yourself at a certain relaxed frequency. I'm recognizing because if it wasn't for that relaxed frequency, you wouldn't been able to make your shot. Your like you last final countdown, the timer's ticking down to 5, 4, 3. And you got that basketball and you go and shoot. You have to relax though, right before that shot. That's what makes God mode. That's when you step into God mode. You step out of your mode and let something else empower the will to be done, whatever it is, of good, of truth. And that's whenever that miracle happens. You're like, that wasn't supposed to happen. It happened. It happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's another awesome explanation. I had another question on the same theme. The things that you're able to do, is it possible? I mean, obviously everyone is capable of doing it, but here in the year 2026, is it even more so open for the rest of us to explore and improve upon our telepathic abilities just in this particular year? I mean, cosmically speaking, the stars are lined up. Is that like a true thing?
You go ahead.
I just want to say today is the 17th. Today is the day that the fire horse comes back in.
Yes.
Hasn't been here in 6 years. I was born June 66. I'm on it, baby. This is my day. I've been waiting 60. I'm 60 years old, right, this year. And so I'm with you, Ray. I don't know what's coming,
Yeah.
but I got a feeling it's going to be a hot one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah,
Everything's
cool.
lining up for this, for all of
Yeah.
us, from what I feel. It's just, It's how spirit wills in the physical. Your spirit will, and it will do its work in the physical. It's just going to happen. Now, if you slow down and don't hit your marks, well, you're going to deal with the consequence of not making your marks. And then you'll learn real quick, oh, well, when I start making my marks, my time here seems like it goes a little easier. I don't know, I can't even say it, but yes, easier.
Yeah.
Now I can say it.
That's
Now,
hard to say.
Yeah, I mean,
kind
with the psionic abilities and things, 2 years ago, I didn't have that at all. I didn't have confidence or trust that I was psychic. I would never have called myself psychic. And then it's just rapidly, over the last 18 months, rapidly changed for me. So now I can say, yeah, I'm psychic. And but I'm not going to channel anybody's grandmother or anything like that. But there are moments when things do happen, and I trust myself a lot more now, and that's what it was. It was a confidence thing. So we all have those abilities from birth. We naturally have those psychic abilities, but this environment has kind of dumbed us down in a way to not trust it, to not want to share it, to not want to use it. But even with your best friend or your family, there'll be people that you are already telepathic with. You're just doing it unconsciously, aren't you? And but I have friends now who say to me, "Can you stop? Can you stop reading my mind?" And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't realize I was sorry." And yeah, so it just shortcuts things now. But I think the more your confidence builds this year with the fire horse energy, that stability, that push of passionate life force energy coming in, yes, we're all going to move into our psychic abilities in a deeper way, I think.
before Matt goes on, I want a couple things here. I'm going to my notes. I'm not going to lose my notes because I'll lose my notes. I just want to say, as I was reading on the Vril Society back in the old days, in parentheses, it was called the Lodge of the Brothers of the Light. Does it sound like Illuminati at all to you? But anyway, that's what they used to be called, right? So anyway, I thought that, yeah, I'll try to backtrack real quick before I leave that note. And then I'm going to tell you some cheats. I got cheats. And I think they're cheats, but they work. When I burn tobacco and I smell it and I breathe it in, I can go. Now, I don't know why, but I can go. And I felt like I was doing it last night. I'm like, dude, you're cheating. I'm like, I don't care if I'm cheating. It works. I don't care if I'm cheating.
Is it? That's being
I don't know. I just felt like it was kind of cheating, but I'm like, it works. I can, when I breathe in and I smell that sweet, sweet tobacco, because we have sweet tobacco, it would, if you breathe it in right now, it would turn you, it put you into almost like a trance.
Yeah.
Because it's so sweet. It's like the most, I mean, I just automatically, last night I took a breathe and I was just, oh, thank you for this sweet, sweet essence of this wonderful plant. I mean, that's where it comes from, is that for some reason that does turn on my, that higher thinking. I have no idea why. That's one cheat. Another cheat is that your blood, like he was telling you, the power's in the blood, and it's the minerals. Now they've washed salt, they took all the minerals out. They washed sugar, they took all the minerals out. They washed bread, they took all the minerals out. So you've got to find your copper, your zinc, and you notice on all your packaging, it doesn't tell you what minerals. They tell you it's got vitamin D and vitamin C and calcium, and it's got flour and it's got water, but they don't tell you what's in it, like zinc, iron, copper. So make sure your blood make sure you're eating good salts, and make sure you're eating, if you eat sugar, add molasses, because molasses has the minerals. Molasses has the iron, zinc, add that to your sugar. So that'll make your brown sugar. But you got to get your minerals in your blood, because that's like you said, that's your antenna. So I do believe those are my cheats right there, is make sure that I have my minerals, make sure I got my copper, make sure I've got it in my blood.
Getting out in the sun. The sun.
Yeah.
The sun.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm solar powered, yeah.
Yeah. Get enzyme powered, and then
there's no sun.
the sun's coming through. That's right.
You can hardly see it here. It's like certain times of day you can see the sun. The rest of the time it's whited out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not good.
It's good. It's all good. It's natural. Besides the chemtrailing. Matthew,
yes.
shut up.
There's a lot more contrails out here than I think maybe where you are. We're just like overloaded, like you can't see the sky hardly at all.
Yeah, we're overloaded here. They've done horrible. It's here in our country. It's killing everything, the plants and everything. Our bees left.
Freeze.
And our gardens are having a hard time. Our St. John bushes that we had for 20 years, they died. Big giant
Hmm.
St. John bushes that we had. So yeah, I know I'm on X a lot, and I'm like everyone, raising hell about the chemtrails. Boy, got to stop that. That stuff is killing us all.
That's really the
Yeah.
number one
Yeah.
shout out that
Yeah.
needs to be heard around the world. I mean, dang gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, drying up the soil. We don't want that. Even after the rain, check the soil
Mm.
outside. You'll be like, it's still like, dig your finger down the soil. You'll recognize
Yeah.
you only got like an inch or a half inch of soil that got wet.
Yeah. And
Wow.
It's dry.
beryllium and aluminum is BAAL. You get your ball there. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
they got to quit that crap. Anyway,
Jeez.
get off
No.
topic.
No.
Obviously, I agree with you. But
Hmm.
well, was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about regarding the Vril? I mean, is there something that we could do as humans to support the Vril creatures so that they can get away from these people who are trying to control them? Just send them psychic positive vibes, I guess.
Yeah, that'd be the good start. Yeah. Reiki to a good direction, you know. Eh, hmm. There's more to it too. Anywhere you feel the need to move your energy, push it there. Where I mean, you feel like this person is evil, political or not, doesn't matter. You feel something is totally wicked with that person. Find a way to tune into their frequency, not tuning into them. Don't be an energy tag and try. What was it? What that one girl did to you?
Oh, remote view.
Remote view. Try not to remote view them physically. If you're able just to tune in their frequency and just feel what they are energetically, see what you could do to change their paradigm to a better direction. With sometimes hope helps them, sometimes love cares because a lot of people ain't got any care in their lives the whole life, so they go out and being destructive. So try to find a way to flip them into thinking positive directions.
And what I've found in your situation there is he's telling you to try to do these things. You don't have to if you connect in with the blood and just open up and you see your grandma, talk to her and from your blood, talk to her from what comes from you. It's not something I had to think about. I don't think about it, I just know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a knowing. And then when you communicate to say your grandma in the spirit world about, hey, this is what loved about you, this is what I appreciate about you, this is what I see, and I know we had this problem and that problem, and those are behind us. I'm going forward, and you say I'm carrying forward with the good, and it kind of sets that energy up right. And so I don't think you even like I said, it's just a matter of trusting what's coming from you because, like I said, I do the same. I have no idea how I just it comes from the blood. It really does come from not from me. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's not something I'm like, you know, okay, I'm going to go and do all this work on somebody. No, I'm just going to be open to what work needs to be done and be a conduit, I guess you could say, in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I'll give you an example for like Katy Perry. She, if I could try to connect to her energy, just frequency with my care of like my parents and my grandpa, he comes to me. I'll try to talk to him the same way I'll talk to Katy Perry. I mean, come at me with good or come at me with your real self or something, you know? It's just let's have a dialogue conflict, conversation. And from what I see from Katy Perry, she's been split and really abused. It's nothing that she's ever done. It's been what she's been writing down on paper. And that, from what I see, does not hold up into heaven. What holds up into heaven is things like this. Blessings. When you say bless you, may God bless you, that's a good thing. But then there's another way to turn that word into something bad with intentions inside of you. Whenever you change it, saying may God be less you, belittle you. When you say that in your heart, that's a curse word, right? You see the difference. So when you come to people with a good heart, and such like that. That's what we're trying to do. Try to come with a good heart. So with Katy Perry, or where was I trying to go with
So should we not use the word
Yeah.
bless?
No,
Be
no, there's no.
less is like,
It's your
wow.
intention.
Yeah, that's from the
Yeah.
blood that comes from.
It's your intentions. No
Yeah.
matter what the word is, what contracts you write, what was your intentions?
Yeah.
Are you binding yourself to this contract, or are you just submitting it to get money? And you're just like,
Right.
I don't care. I'm just gonna go forward. I'm just gonna have fun. Well,
Yeah.
God's gonna hold your bond as a tie because they took the signature. So you're not bonded to what was written. You're bonded to your spirit,
Yeah.
right? Your intentions.
Yeah.
So, but they might be able to take your physical body, do all these things like what they did with Katy Perry, but she still got her spirit. I don't know if she knows this or not, but she does have her spirit, and oh, she's been cloned and such like that. She might actually be dead. Actually, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like to connect to that energy. Um,
No.
uh,
But
it's not it's
I
not
like the
bad about her.
words.
It's just the energetic of all the other people that surround her, and it's not
Yeah.
like it's also the abuse that they've had too. So whenever you connect into those type of energies, you'll get a recognition of like, oh, they're in some deep hot water, right?
Yeah.
They're already been boiled and fried up and already been fed almost, and that's actually
Yeah.
wild to say fed nowadays after what we know about Epstein and shit
Yeah.
and stuff.
I mean, it's the way that we use the words that we've been supplied with. And I was talking to somebody on Facebook about this, and they've started to use that Goyim Lives Matter thing. And I've never even heard of that Goyim word before, which means non-Jew, and it's used in a derogatory way. But I'm thinking, well, if we've never heard of these words, why would you be trying to popularize them now? Trying to use it sarcastically or take some kind of stand, it doesn't make sense to me. But I was actually thinking about words like morning, good morning. So we're using negative connotation words all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's become part
Yep.
of the language as part of the control of keeping us in dark energy, right? So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so that's when you said be less, and I thought, wow, I've not thought about that before.
Mhm.
That's an
Yes.
interesting one, yeah, to add in. Yeah.
And you're condemning your physical whenever you use these words.
Yeah.
Yeah, we spent
There's a difference between your spirit and your physical. You have to recognize whenever you're using your spirit and your physical. You say these good morning, you're mourning over the dead or mourning to the next day, you're
Yeah.
saying that to your own physical body, right? I can't do this. Well, now your body wants to really try and it's not going to succeed, right? Such like that. So it does have a physical aptitude with your spirit willing the same thing. So you have to watch out.
Yeah, we spent probably 3-4 years. Tina's going to go. Tina, go take care of your rooster. He's hungry. She's going out the rooster's bit there
Hi,
yapping,
Tina.
going. Yeah, she just found her door.
Ran.
Her gang is out the back door waiting for her. See, they're calling for breakfast. But we were going to say that we spent years working on that here as a family. Catching each other's lies. And like one of my sons came over the other day and he says we're broke. He says we're broke. And I'm like, see, this is the whole thing is you got to pay attention to what you curse yourself with.
Mm-hmm.
You're not broke, son. You don't have money. It's different. You got to pay attention. And so we spent years removing those words. And that's something each individual, that's that work you do. You say something, listen to what you say. And if you don't know the word, that's another thing we do around here is we define all words. If there's a word that we're using, we will define it. We will make it ours and we will own it. Therefore, we don't have we're not cursing ourselves with the words that have been created.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to kind of shift to another topic before I forget it. We got a warning from Jim Dorson the other day, and I think Ray would like that. Now we don't. Yeah, our table here is kind of like open, so you never know who's going to jump in and send us a message or anything, just any time. And we were watching a video the other day, and it was in Japan where there was a dolphin that they found that has it's like a birthmark of the Great Dipper, and according to their history and their people before them, that when that happens, and within 3 months, supposedly the star people will come down or something like that. That's supposedly what's supposed to be happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as we're watching that, All right, cool. That's when we got a pretty strong warning from Jim Morrison. Do not get off this topic that we're on now, which is talking about, the Epstein, the corruption file. I'll call it, people call it Epstein and think it's related to pedos, but it's related to corruption of all things. This is bigger than pedo world. We're talking, it's revealing really what all the governments in the world are up to and what they've been doing. And anyway, so he had came in and basically told us not to lose track. So, that's real suspicious to me. We didn't ask Jim, huh? What? But so that's something to think about. I just wanted to put that on the
Mhm.
table because that came up in my head again.
It was more of a not to be distracted of the ETs coming down. Nothing wrong with them coming down, good or bad. Nothing wrong with them being good or bad themselves. It's the part of don't be distracted. Treat everything like you will treat your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. Just treat everybody actually as equal as possible as you can. That's even with God Himself. The way you treat God is the way you should be treating your brother.
Yeah.
If God comes at you not right, oh, that's not that direction. I'm trying to, because God doesn't mess around.
Yeah,
So
I get
I'm
what you
trying to,
mean. I get what you mean.
yeah, y'all should.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
cool.
like being neutral. Let's be neutral and let's just care about each other, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's the caring part and
Yeah.
work together and figure out and
Yeah.
colliding and doing good things. And with the ETs, if they try to come down, don't be distracted with them. Make sure you're looking at the bigger play at hand because every time when something big's coming down, there's something else that's coming around the corner that we
Yeah.
don't see that they're trying to get us on. So they try to trip us in the hole by turning our heads. Don't get your heads turned, Don't have your head so easily turned. When
Yeah.
a big bang happens, keep your head solid. That's what he's just told me. When a big bang of anything happens, keep your head solid and
Yeah.
then slowly look if you need to. There ain't no reason to rush and looking, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Rush and acting.
Hmm. How we do for time, Ray? Are we okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I could go about another hour.
Oh, really?
All
I
right.
thought you were going to say we only had like 20 minutes or something.
So no, I gotta leave my house in about an hour. So I got another hour. I know it feels like we talked for like 3 days already this morning. So this is awesome. We're making time. We're making good time.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
is it okay if I backtrack a little bit? Because we were talking
Sure,
about the
sure.
Vril,
I might
and
need
I
a
was
bathroom break. One sec.
all
I'll be
right.
right back.
Yeah, all of us. So anyway, we were talking about the Vril, and I asked, what can we do to help the Vril? And the answer came back. It seemed like, when you're encountering another human, and you want to send them the right vibration so they can alter their perspective and look at things in a brighter way, in a brighter perspective. So that sounded like an indirect way to help the Vril. Like if we're helping another human, um, you know, make their hemispheres agree better in their brain. They're put their mind together so they're not split so much. That actually helps the Vril because then how would that benefit the Vril? Am I asking a weird question?
Um, that's a good. No, you're actually opening up a different type of paradigm. Actually, that actually works out better. From what I'm seeing is, if you're able to tune into the Vril, it's better than something with a bad entity tuning into that Vril and having that person do something bad.
Ah,
Right.
very good.
So
Yeah.
if you like what y'all wanted to talk to the Galactic Dragon, y'all will be able to connect to the Galactic Dragon if y'all wanted to. If y'all just go to bed, relax, sleep, slumber, however, and just like feel like you went up to the top of the earth and just look behind you, It's just like just that type of thinking, you'll receive what you need to see, And with that thought, you talk to the Galactic Dragon, he will come in and frequencies the Vril into a right direction. I do it myself, and I'll do it again, and to helping the Vril to have a filled body, if that makes sense, a filled knowing of himself, a new frequency of himself, and the Vril will start trying to help what he can help out around him. See, the only way to destroy the evil is to show evil good. Once the evil recognize a baby's laughter in a good sense, the evil will possibly change in a different way and give them a different paradigm. Because what is evil? It's just someone that's not perceiving the right way. They perceive that things are attacking them, so that's when they start tripping out and start attacking out because they're feeling like they're being attacked. That's why you have to come back with love of some sort of balanced love that brings them back to like recognizing, oh, if I keep going on the path I'm going to be alone and dead and all by myself. There'll be nothing left. When they recognize that, they're like, oh, how do I change? How can I go out and do something good? So put in something in the Vril that the Vril will act out of love for. Because what's been done has been done. You can't really change a physical attitude that happened sometimes. And with the Vril dying every so often, 5 or 10 years, you know, you have to. There ain't nothing that we can do technically, but just energetically form out a way for the Vril to help, help. Have everything like working like little Gaia's pretties. Have everything working out the way it's supposed to, and the best way, and in the right light. I'm trying to remember the. I can't glad my brain. I'm with you, Ray. It's like I don't want to promote the Vril in somebody, right? That's not good. But I'm recognizing the guy is like, I mean, well, like a lion. What's wrong with the lion? Nothing's wrong with the lion. He's a master of what he does. He could terrorize things, but if he's a good lion, he's not a bad lion, right?
All right.
Yeah. So this is a divide inside of me, not Gaia, that's showing me that Vril is just like a regular, precious, pretty, insect, rabbit, squirrel. That's what the Vril is. It's a animal.
It has its purpose. It's here
It
for a
has a
reason.
purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
And what I'm hearing, I'm sorry if I'm belaboring the point. What I'm hearing is that there's some entity, some kind of organization that's trying to manipulate and even genetically modify these. And that's why I feel like I want to help them. And I guess the image again is, get your dragon to connect you, with your vibration and your frequency, and you can send those Vril some supportive vibes, but I don't know, if that will help them bust out of whatever shackles they're in.
Right.
Also, how many
Well,
Vril are like in a human form? How many are parasitic on the planet right now, do you think?
um, those who eat certain types of meat and things growing from the land,
Mm.
certain types of things living off the land, those people are really not vrilled at all, practically. But the people that's been receiving and getting provided things and taking from the prescriptions or something like that, not really doctors or anything. I'm just saying like they're being prescribed things. You go to the store, you prescribed a tomato or something like that. You get things prescribed to you. You're getting stuff and you're taking it. Those are the people that are more likely to have the Vril that's been implemented in them somehow through genetics, through a long time, or however, depending on the situation and how long they've been doing that. So it's quite vast for everybody practically having the Vril in them, but it doesn't take much to kill the Vril within you. There's certain type of foods and genetics of foods that aligns and kills the Vril out of you. Just like anything else of the physical form, you get a cancer cell. The cancer cell can leave if you implement the certain right nutritions for the body enzymes to fight off the cancer and eventually pushes out the cancer out of the body. However, it'll push out the Vril too, because the Vril is naturally supposed to be in the ground no matter what. So we're not promoting the Vril to be into somebody. We're promoting the Vril to be free from the person. You know, it's trying to, it's like we're we're trying to get the Vril to move along sooner through the system of the body of the person instead of lingering in the body, because anything that's lingering for too long will become a disease and cause more problems. So just pretty much giving out passage, what's that word? Trying to flow, let the spirit flow, try to get the spirit to flow through these people. I don't know if that makes sense. I guess it makes sense.
It does. I mean, I've heard other people talk about well, healing. I want to be careful about what I say, and I feel like you put it into like what might be a very spiritual way of describing a spiritual narrative, and all it made sense to me is what I'm saying. So, thank you again, Julie. Was there anything you would like to ask before I
Well,
invite the
it's just
gentlemen? Go
taken
ahead.
me off on a tangent, all this word of Vril, and it's brought up, you know, the when the TV was taken over in 1977 in the UK, and it was an alien called Vrilin. Does anybody remember that? And it was a
No.
mysterious broadcast that they took over the TV. So I've just found an article about it, a mystery of alien named Vrilin who interrupted live TV. And I know Miles from Bases has talked about this. And it says on November 26, 1977, around 5 p.m., a regular news programming of the Independent Broadcast Authority on Southern TV Network in South England was interrupted by a computer-generated voice. And it says it distorted the voice, the TV picture wobbled, the news anchor, and people heard a strange metallic buzzing, then a deep, somber, echoing voice that seemed to have been electronically disguised, bellowed out from a person claiming to be an alien from another world. So the voice called himself Vrillian and represented a certain body known as the Ashtar Galactic Command, which I know people who believe that Ashtar Command is not real as well. So this message, so it took over the TV broadcast in 1977, and that kind of thing was just unheard of, you know, at the time. So just because you're saying Vril, it made me think of that, and managed to get it up. It's also making me think about the TV show V, but I think that's different, isn't it? So
No, that's right.
yeah.
Hmm.
So interesting. No, so I'm good.
That's very interesting you brought that up, because you got me saying that the Vril is actually getting frequencies put into them. And I wasn't recognizing that it wasn't just like spiritual. It was actually a physical thing that's going on. They put some type of vibe through them, electronics, and
Yeah.
they're able to send the information through them and such like that. And it'd be like trying, like if someone would have Vril in them, you could program that person to walk and talk and say certain things and such like that. If you're able to tune into their put in the frequency to that Vril,
Yeah.
and to pretty much demand that Vril to do what you want it to do. A
Yeah.
Vril is a dual communicator. It's just the part that's in between. It's the mediator, is what Vril is, from what I'm seeing.
And anybody who watches Star Trek Deep Space Nine will also make a parallel to the Trill, who is a symbiote that
Oh,
goes
yeah,
in the body, right?
that's right.
And that can share memories, and yeah, it's making me think of that now. Yeah,
Mm,
Brill,
that kind
Trill.
of reminds me of mall dream, the
The
mall
Mall
dream, the
World.
people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
The mall.
mall world.
Yeah, everyone's
That's
talking about that right now. I can't even say it like you guys can. I don't believe I've had it, apart from I have had one encounter, one dream memory of being in a place like that, but it was, I can't even explain what it was like, but it wasn't like an actual mall, but it was like a bit like a bit like that movie, The Island. Have you guys watched that? The Island, with
Yes.
Scarlett Johansson, right? So I was in a place that was like that, and then on Instagram recently, there's this guy who does skating in Canada, and he's skating, he's like blading around in these underground parking lots and stuff. And there's a picture, and at the end of it was that room, that place that I saw. Then I realized what I had been remembering was the Monarch Dome in Toronto,
Oh,
which is right below a massive shopping mall. Right. So yeah, so that's all kind of linked in. But it was this guy on
right.
Instagram just skating around this car park, and then right at the end, I took a snapshot of it as well, and I was like, oh. So yeah, so I've had like a flashback memory of that, but I've also had like a dream memory of spending time there, which felt like forever. So that's the closest I've got to Mole World, but I think it's just like a Monarch memory of growing up in the Dums. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Before Matt tells you how he got out of Mall World, let me tell you. Let me read that last statement on that broadcast that the Verillians had, because it's talking about what we said on that broadcast. This is kind of the conclusion of the thing. They said at the end of their that TV broadcast they did, they said they will suck your energy from you, the energy you call money, and will put it in to evil ends and give you worthless dross in return. Your inner divine self will protect you from this. You must learn to be sensitive to the voice within that can tell you what is truth and what is confusion, chaos, and untruth. Learn to listen to the voice of truth with which is within you, and you will lead yourself onto the path of evolution. This is our message to our dear friends. So anyway, that was at the end of that broadcast they did. Anyway, you want to tell her about the mall, or you want to say something else?
Well, about that though first, because that's exactly what I was trying to say. The beginning part that you were saying right there, I didn't know how to put that in words in my head. So that's exactly what I was trying to say earlier. Holy crap! I was trying to say that. I was all over the place. God.
Hey, we got there in the end.
I'm glad he pulled it up.
Again, connect with your blood.
Connect with your blood.
Then you connect with your relatives.
Then you connect
with everything.
Relatives, yourself, your family. Geez, you connect to everything. Yes, like you just said.
You tell her about the mall.
Now the mall. What happened with the mall? Now the mall. I was in middle school. I guess it was starting to come active in middle school once I got into middle school type of time period. So I was recognizing I do an action in my dream. There's a reaction in the physical world at school. And I was like playing with the energy, trying to figure out this energy, because I'm like, this is new for me. This is something's very weird, because never in my life at that time period it was like this. It was when I go to bed, if I was sickly or anything, going to bed, had a headache or anything, I knew whenever I woke up, my body will be healed and brand new. A totally fresh start for the brand new day. Twisted an ankle that past day, well, it's gone because I woke up to the next day.
I don't think you had a sick day in your entire life at school.
No, really didn't.
Never. One time. That's why he was always never sick, ever.
No. I always was a full throttle kid. But that's what I saw when I was a kid, whenever I was growing up, was thinking that. And then sometime in middle school, that's whenever I recognized whenever I go into my dream state, there's a reaction to the next day because of my dream state. And that's when I was like, this is something wrong. Don't like this. So I was really cautious in what I'm doing and really trying to figure out the truth of what's going on. And I was going through certain parts of the mall world, and I recognized that I connect to certain people in middle school that was in the same mall world. Now, they didn't know it themselves that they were in the dream state, but I said certain things in the dream state that they came back in the daylight at school that they said. I was like, well, they are communicating to me through the dream. And I was going to try to drop ties with it because it seemed like there was a lot of controlling things going on. It's like there was a principal and a mayor and governor and all types of things in that mall world. There's leaders there. Because there's leaders, I'm already automatically wanting out of there. I'm like, I don't want to be nowhere near any type of personnel trying to be over me, right? In dream state. When I go to bed, it's me.
Yeah,
I don't want like someone say, no, you dream this way. That does not work
right.
that way. Not with me. So I recognized how to get out of the mall um dream, which was to walk the interstate one way and then walk the interstate the other way. And then eventually I found a woods and I walked through the woods and then try to kept a left turn on it and then right and left and then try to really go straight for a long while without going in a circle. And then I eventually found a way to get out of the mall, which is where I found the countryside. If you found the countryside or um, where there's practically nothing, you're practically out of the mall world where you start to come into this white light and you recognize you're coming to your own dream. You're still in the dream, you're still asleep, but you're coming out of the mall world dream trap. That's what it felt like. So that's why I did to get out of it. And throughout the years later on, I recognized I was having problems. I was having to go to school and disconnect connections in school with these certain people. These certain people carries these mall figures in their dream state, and they try to implement others to come in and have fun in their dream state. Is what I was feeling. It's like a playground in the astral area to play with your friends. Whether it's true or not, it just felt weird and I didn't like it. So
Because
I'm out. I mean, for
yeah,
other people that likes it and wants it, well, they probably are in it and yeah, y'all enjoy it.
I
It's
know
something
people have
possibly good
talked
about it.
about
I don't know.
autistic children meeting in like a dream state place. So I've heard about that. Autistic people are like getting together in like an alternate version of dream time where they are fully functioning and everything. But that dream trap sounds right, doesn't it? Do you think it's programming when you're in the dream trap?
It does
Yeah.
seem like it. It seemed like it's a, real connection to it from I heard what Dad was just talking about. I'm like wondering if that was a implemented Vril thing that happened for people to connect dreams and such to each other.
So I have
Um,
another reference, which again, it's Star Trek. So I'm a really big fan,
cool.
and it's Voyager, Star Trek Voyager, and Seven of Nine, right? So the Borg, and when she's on the Borg ship, the main ship, she has, and they go into their stasis pod, they connect in, and she's got another life in another dream world, right, where they all look normal, and she's got a partner, and they're in this beautiful space with like green and everything, and then they come back out of it and they're a drone. So that was revealed in one of the later seasons. I can't think which one it is, but they were able to like have a life in this dream stasis state, which again could be similar to like this programming that we're experiencing in the mole world thing. Interesting.
It's kind of like, yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of
Yeah.
coming from like watching movies and such. When you get into that movie, sitting,
Yeah.
absorbing, I guess you call it zombie comatose or
Yeah.
zombie or something. I don't know what you want to call it,
Yeah.
but you just
Yeah.
like go into that retrieving
Well,
energy.
what my mind is just showing me now is that we go into a dream bubble, but then there's all these other bubbles coming off it. So people have started to create other realities off dream time. And then, of course, the dark forces have got their bubbles that they're trying to suck us into. But we've started to create our own little dream time bubbles as well. So people are like
Mm.
pairing off into that. So that's interesting. I've not thought of that before. It's just popped in. It's like I can see it. It's like we're in this bubble here, and then there's all these branches coming off. Yeah,
Now I
that's
really
cool.
like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that. That's good dream bubbling. That's
Yeah,
good dream
dream bubbling.
connections.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I like that.
So we
That
need
I
to
do see
make
that to be true.
we need to make a new, good, positive dream bubble where we can go and just be our super selves. I'm pretty sure that's out there already. We just need to connect to it. Yeah,
That
awesome.
makes more sense. Now, since we
Yeah,
know more about it, maybe we can actually like keep all the dark forces from getting into our dream bubbles. That's
yeah,
There we
even
go.
better because that's partially why I got out of the mall world because
yeah,
I saw little dark tides here and there and here and there. That's what got me out of that dream bubble. That dream bubble could have been good with
yeah,
those certain few that was there. It's just
yeah.
those other black tides. And I was like, no, I'm not going to be part of those.
It's just another
Right.
control mechanism, isn't it? They're controlling you all the time, which reinforces that we're in the matrix kind of thing. Our energy is constantly monitored. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Anyway, sorry.
That's
No, that
cool.
was good. I love
That's
talking
really
about
cool.
Star Trek. That's awesome.
Yeah, I love Star Trek. So my mind, that's how I think. I think like Star Trek movies. Yeah.
It also
So
reminds me of
That's
the
cool.
Matrix movie. Isn't that the same thing? You know, we're just little batteries and we live in
yeah,
this fantasy world
yeah,
while they, leech our loosh. Um,
yeah.
did you guys have any particular subject you wanted to go to? Because I had like a couple of questions written down.
We're just open here like you guys to learn.
Okay.
Yep.
We we have no
Far away,
specific
Ray.
thing. I'm taking notes, and right now my notepad's clean, so we're cool. Let's keep rolling.
All right. Well, I want to like backtrack educationally. You know, I grew up as a Roman Catholic, and I went to CCD, which was Catechism School. You know, we learned what we would call the dogma, so that we could all be good practicing Catholics. And I sponsored a lot of this stuff as a teacher in the classroom, even though it's separate here in the United States. The church and the state are separate. When you're talking about the religious beliefs of the past, they influence our history, and I had to share these things. And now I know you have a connection to Jesus. So I want to talk about one story I had to share, which was when the Europeans, they say, when the Europeans explored the world and they encountered people that did not know Jesus, okay, one of the tactics that they used was, and I hate to say this, it's so disgusting, but open quote, kill them all and let God sort them out, close quote. If they didn't know Jesus, if they don't know God, they're going to go to hell, and that's the way it is. But if we can convert some, we can save some. And I would love to be able to rewrite history right now. I'm sure that's not what Jesus or anybody really had in mind. Just because you don't know who Jesus is, or you believe in you believe in the universe in a different way, in a different schematic, that doesn't mean you're going to go to hell. And so I'd love to hear what you have to say on this, actually.
Hmm. Jesus is showing that his direction was nothing of the. No, there's a different direction. It was. I'm saying differently. What he's saying is, there's a mind, body, and spirit, and it works in that direction. Your mind is above the body, and if those two cannot work together in a balance ordeal, then the spirit's not going to prolong. The spirit's not going to do its will. Once the mind and the body comes together to reconcile with the physical and to compose um, building ideas, to have a pen and then to have the thought, click it. That now you can write, right? The physical is the pen, and the mind said, well, click it. And now you can write or not write. Once those two comes together, then you could write. That's when your spirit prevails, right? That's what Jesus been trying to show, and what they done to him, or not what they done from the lessons that he tried to teach to the world. They turned into a control version that they've always had since the beginning. It has not changed. It's still the same. They used some name, Moses, prior to him, into a way that they could prolong their message, which is control, dominance, and too many people will create a too many. There'll be more destruction on Earth, is what they think. I don't know what they truly think. I don't think that's what they truly think. I think they think deeper than that. But the Jesus, um, I don't know how Jesus wants to respond to their actions, for those actions are not his actions. All right. So know within yourself of his actions, and you'll reconcile and sweep forward with the good ways and be stronger against the bad ways, so the bad ways won't come back. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I've got some points on that with Ray that is in my mind has been there for quite a while. Of course, they turned religion and Christianity into weapons
Yeah.
when they came into this country. They went after the the witches, the psychic people, and so we all know that they have weaponized Christianity and had the witch hunts and all that. And also, I wanted to say Edgar Casey, which I love Edgar Casey's, read all his books when I was a kid, studied his stuff. He talks about the balance of the mind, the body, and the spirit, and he confirms what you're saying, which is a great source of, that's my whole life. I've always tried to balance those three to keep them all healthy. You have to take care of all three. You can't let the body go, you can't let the mind go, and you can't let the spirit. They must be balanced. So anyway, that's, like I said, that's even what Edgar Casey that's some of his teachings too.
Mm-hmm.
So what I really like about the message I'm hearing is that Jesus is instructing us and reminding us that each of us, regardless of what we believe in, we have the ability to balance our mind, our body, and our soul, and that's what's going to promote our spirit, to thrive. That's the whole key. And my question from the 20th century is virtually irrelevant if you want to like dig into that. It's like not even a real thing.
Um, what you were bringing up did happen. Like they went and the churches and such did come around and using his name as an authority figure to say that you're good or evil, you're dead or
Sure.
you're good. You're
Right.
converted. All right, you're cool. Right. So what you said is true, but what he was um stating was that those were their deeds and he has no connections to their deeds because they use his name and that's not his spirit name that God gave him. So that's a name for the physical. So the physical of his body will be used against those others. Um, like a good sword was forged one day and someone used it for good. And then the next day someone used it for bad. You never know who will pick up and wield the sword. The sword comes from the tongue. The sword is the mouth. And what you say can penetrate and do good or do bad amongst everyone. So it's the power is within everybody. Um, Not just for your spirit. That's more selfish, if anything. It's really for all those around you. Um, to a point, because you do have to take care of yourselves. And once you figure out you got yourself taken care of and you have the fruits and you found out ways to fruit, now you have extra abundance. Then you can share your abundance with those others around you.
Yeah, very good. You belong on a pulpit. I'm glad we got you on camera for the internet and people can tune in whenever they're ready. That is awesome. So, can I keep on going with some questions for Jesus? I got another one from the 20th century.
Yeah, let me add in one note to kind of
Sure.
back up what you guys were talking about. Something that they, have this is something that resonates with me. Something I've found out about was before they came to Americas, you had all these tribes, and all these tribes had leaders, big mamas. See, and the thing was, with all these big mamas, we'll call them big mamas because they were big women, I guess. But anyway, they had psychic
Big
ability,
spirited moms.
big spirited moms, right? And they were all connected. So if a tribe in Florida was being attacked by something, the other tribes would come because Big Mama says, "Go." They all knew. We see that was the religion before Christianity and all that came here. See, and that's one of the things you will not find any talk about because they don't want you to know what happened. What was America before? It used to be tribes, and many of them. And like I said, they had big mamas. The women were the ones that, they had the sight, right?
Right.
And right. And so anyway, that's something to kind of give you a different perspective of religion, of that the true religions, how things really work. You want to say something?
Yes, because that leads to my last note on my paper. I wrote a lot for the past few days, and of course, I didn't put nothing out there because a lot of it was already spoken. So I was like, well, I'll leave a lot of that. But the one thing that was not spoken was at the very bottom. Women can do like man, but man cannot do like women. I don't see no man giving birth. I don't see no man doing these things. Women can really do the miracles of this world, right?
You know what
And
I
then the
love at the
man,
moment? I love on Instagram when they put the pain simulators on the men to simulate the period pains, and men can't handle it at all. It's not even like a level 2, and they're like crying, and the
yeah,
woman's standing there like, "What's wrong with you?" Because our pain threshold is so high because we're literally trained from like teenage to handle that level of pain. I love that.
right?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely won't be able to handle those pains.
No.
Man cannot do what women can
No.
do.
Impossible. Yeah.
You're good.
I'm jumping real quick. Women have the mitochondriac, and a lot of
That's
people
right.
don't know this, that the mitochondriac, when between the man and woman, when they come together and they have the child, the man's mitochondriac is tossed. And that's the thing is in the days when we used to, you know, the other day I was blessing Earth. I was blessing Gaia and thanking Gaia. But see, the women, you get 4 or 5 women together and get that, I call it the mighty contract. They used to dance, and if you get those, this is why they call them witches. This is why they would burn them at the crosses, because these women were, strengthening their mother. And anyway, on Earth, that's the way it is, the mighty contract. And so it's something very, very, very real how women have that superpower. And of course, that's why they're demonized in religion. And that's why they're, cover their faces and all that crazy stuff. But anyway, that's just a side thing.
Yeah, because how powerful women really are.
Yep.
Women are truly the most powerful ones out there because they can create life.
Well, they got a portal.
They got a portal. They got something. They got a spark within them. Well, the spark comes from the man to give to her, but still, the spark's within you.
Originally, priestesses didn't need to have a counterpart. It's the highest honor of the priestess was to naturally birth through the portal another life, and that happened. Yeah, so all the Marys out there giving birth as virgins, they were priestesses. So unfortunately now, with the work of like Ashio Nadine and all that, we know that the portal has been clamped and we've been chained into the moon. So there's a seal system around the feminine portal that makes it with like a fleur-de-lis clamp on it, that makes it very painful when we do try to birth and things like that. It's not meant to be that way. It's a form of slavery and forced breeder programs that are coming in with that. So I do seal removal on that as well. But it's very unusual, that kind of work. When you start telling people they've got a portal there that's got clamps and chains to the moon, they look at you like, what? But it's true. That's why we've been like hooked into those cycles. It's alien technology. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Well, it's Jesus wanted to come in and saying it's your natural technology from the origination all the way from the beginning. It's always been a number one power
But
thing that this earth wouldn't be.
The negative stuff is alien for sure. Yeah, the negative stuff that keeps us clamped and chained and in pain, that's the negative technology that's been forced upon us within the seal systems connected into the land and the moon. Yeah, that's negative alien tech. Definitely not natural, that part. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Gaia does want to say that there is, because what you're saying, yes, there's, when you go to the extreme pains, those are not natural birthings. Those are the artificial, whatever they're doing that's causing you pains, the extra pains.
Some women do not actually have pains.
But some women don't have pains. And there's those testimonies and others that has half pains. Those are the ones that are in balance. And I can't say they are balanced. They're
when I was pregnant, there was another
more
lady who
natural.
was pregnant at the same time, and she laughed her baby out of her body. She had a laughing birth, just naturally so easy and beautiful. She just laughed out. And I was in labor for 3 days and had to go to a hospital in the end and have a C-section. But she just laughed him out. How amazing. Yeah. I didn't have the same. I wish I would have been able to laugh him out.
We didn't laugh. Well, Tina didn't laugh at all.
Mama didn't laugh.
No, just like I wasn't laughing.
I want to point out they had an experiment where they took mice and they put it in a situation where everything was perfect, and they went extinct. And the reason being, now listen to this one. This is going to be like, what? It's one of those 1932 experiments. What happened was the male mice got kind of like jealous and started spending so much time grooming that they stopped having sex, and then the population went down and they died. And I'm not saying we're living in the same weird stuff, but it sounds exactly
Yeah.
like it, doesn't it?
That does happen though. You get the fathers who get jealous of the mothers with the babies, and that does happen. And now they're talking about a male loneliness epidemic because women are deciding that they don't want to deal with mental load anymore. They just want to have ease and peace and joy, and they're all starting to move out of their relationships. And I can totally relate with that. Yeah, I really can. Yeah, so mental load is a big factor of why relationships are failing these days. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they've
Yeah,
they've outlawed birthing with dolphins because that was too good.
that was actually
Yeah,
frequentizing the birth.
yeah, because the dolphins,
Wow.
they reduce the pain, don't they? Yeah, with the telepathic connection. That's
Mhm.
amazing.
And
Yeah,
the dolphins were blessing the babies, with
yeah.
giving, helping them be who they're supposed to be, and they cut that out. Yeah.
I have had a real world experience with dolphins. I went on my first holiday abroad and it was Tenerife, the Canary Islands, and we went to see a dolphin show. And my emotions are very shut down, but in that moment I must have connected with the dolphin and I was overwhelmed with emotion for this dolphin. Like I was crying and don't know where it came from. It was very powerful dolphin connection. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Poor
Cool, cool.
thing.
that's very good.
Yeah.
All right,
Anyway.
Jason. Oh,
Yeah.
So
Ray's got some stuff. Sorry,
I got
Ray.
a
We can
couple.
get back on, Ray. We just went off on a rangent.
No, we're bragging about how wonderful women are, and I want to
Yeah.
tell you what I know about history. I hope it's accurate. I hope it's true, but I think there are many tribes, including the Iroquois out in New York and Canada, where the women were not the chiefs, but they selected the chief. And if the chief, who was a male, wasn't doing the job, the women would just pick a new one. And when
Yeah.
you mention that the committees of women in one tribe would be communicating with the others, I had never thought of that before, but that makes a lot of sense. And then I would like to backtrack a couple of years ago. I think it was a secret space program experiencer. I don't want to say the person's name, but he was talking about hunters in the olden days. They always talk about the great way hunters can track animals and anticipate where they're going to be, when really all they really need to do is sit around the fire. You're hungry. Let's remote view. We just go straight to where the animals are.
Mm. Yeah, I
Hmm.
have there's a goddess here in the British Isles called Ellen, Ellen of the Ways, and she was basically one of our very first goddesses out here, and she was the only one that could choose who would be king of the land. Yes, if it wasn't selected by Ellen, then you wouldn't have had like what we have today. But she's also known for clearing the pathways, creating roads via the deer trods. Yeah, so Ellen is an example of what you were saying there, Ray. Beautiful. She's a horned goddess. Yeah, very beautiful, very powerful. She comes in your dreams as well. So I love Ellen of the Ways.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
cool.
interesting. That's interesting. You brought up the horn goddess.
Mm.
Now, there's like these archangels, supposedly certain ones. I was hearing this from trying to remember who, maybe Archangel Michael, yeah, or Gabriel. Gabriel, he's coming in, so that's where I got it from. So Archangel Gabriel, he told me that if you dethrone certain archangels, um, the demonic ones, and these type of terms, the bad ones that are not of good nature, if you dehorn their thorn horns, um, you're able to
Knock down walls,
knock down walls, and
like in the Bible.
you can create new worlds just with their horn. Just the blow of their horn, you'll be able
Wow.
to create frequency structures. You can create anything you could fly, you could do anything with the horn from what I'm seeing. You could do stuff with it. You create things. But yeah, that
That's cool.
things of the horn of certain archangels can cause magnificent things. So I mean, if you do ever find a horn in the woods, check it out.
Yeah.
Don't
Do you
blow it.
know much
But don't
about
blow it.
know much about Elohim? Because I've been told that I have an aspect that is an Elohim, like a higher aspect angel. Do you know much about that?
Now, those aspects, from what I'm recognizing, is your frequency, um, energy aligns to the spirit vessel of Elohim. So frequency and with yourself, the way you stand as you are in your spirit, it is a like brother like frequency to Elohim's frequency. That's what I'm seeing. And not to feel that it got downgraded, technically it should be an upgrade, because that having a brother factor with, or for your sense, sister factor with Elohim, that should help you transmute information clearer and such like that. Feel, I don't know, whatever you feel that is right for you inside you, you'll reckon.
Yeah, it was Sean Bond that said my Elohim had been ravaged in a battle in Lemuria, I think it was, and they were still they were dying and they needed repair. So then I tried to connect in. I did get a name for them, but it slips out of my mind for some reason. So I've been trying to send energy back to them to see if they can build them back up. I don't know.
Tune into yourself. Tune in more into yourself, and then the Elohim frequency will amp up more. And then your
Yeah.
brother frequency comes in, your sister frequency comes in with Elohim, and then
Yeah.
y'all will become as one. That's what I was saying.
That's cool. Thank you.
The best way to recognize, I guess, this way will be like meditating while you're in bed. When you go to
That's what I
sleep,
do.
yeah.
I do like afternoon naps when I go into meditation for 2 to 3 hours, and I just literally slow myself right down and go into zero. And yeah, I do that for hours at a time now, and that's how I get my memory recall. I call it memory mining. So
Right. Yeah,
yeah.
so you do well with that then. So it's the other aspects is what I'm saying is when you walk through the day then.
Mm,
Continue that frequency.
yeah. Okay.
So like a certain day, these certain type of frequencies gets you distracted sometimes.
I'm very
Like you
distracted all the time. Yes.
well, yeah, I get that. Same with me. I never am on one thing. Never.
Yeah.
But-
My mind just got even more rapid. So when I watch this back, I'll be watching
Mhm.
it back at 1.65 speed. Right? That's how rapid my
Oh yeah.
mind is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
speed it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what I do. I
I
like it.
speed everybody up. So some people,
Mm.
like Ivan Teller, I can even put him on double time now because sometimes he talks so slow. I've got to speed people up super fast so I can just absorb the information.
Oh yeah, it's like what Ray was saying about the Matrix earlier, but it was like the downloading part whenever they
Yeah,
were trying to cram pack Neo. Just
yeah.
kind of
That's
like
right. Yeah.
Yeah, we should be able to do that. I feel like sometimes we can do that because
Mhm.
I've got alters and things like that. I think sometimes I can just call in information. Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
I feel
Anyway,
like that's your Elohim energy connection is what that is.
okay.
Whenever you're doing your speed downloads and such like
Yeah.
that, and if it's not just a download, you could be going to the store or going out to the lake somewhere. It's that frequency of your travel that is connecting to Elohim.
Okay, that
If
makes
that makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Go on, Ray.
What
Well,
you got, Ray?
yeah, I got one page done, but
Okay.
I got two more pages. I really only have
Oh,
15 minutes, so
okay.
I feel like
We'll
we should
save
bite
it
off
for
a
a part
small one.
three. Yeah, pick a
Yeah,
full one and then
exactly.
we'll do a part three.
Sounds good to
Oh,
me.
Yeah.
But we learned so much today. I mean,
Oh,
let's see if we
wow.
can recap without watching the video. We learned that our blood is our antenna. We got more evidence that there's technology and understanding and knowledge that's hidden from us. Has been hidden from us for hundreds and thousands of years. We learned about in creatures from the invisible world that we don't normally think about or even hear about, and it confirms a bunch of other circumstances and events and beliefs that we have and that we perceive all around us, which is contrary to the propaganda and the programming that we keep receiving. I don't know if that's a complete summation. I bet the AI will do a better job after it watches the video, but that wasn't bad for a human being. I want to say thanks very much to all three of you. Again, it was a lot of fun. I really learned a lot. I got a lot to think about. This is going to be a good video. There's a lot of people who they enjoyed the last video. I know they're going to like this one.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So I'm going to
Yeah.
process and premiere this soon. I'll check out the timings as well because I want to do it a little bit later on today on Eastern because it's like midday Eastern now. So I'll probably do it in a few hours' time. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Julia. Thanks a lot for
You're
organizing this.
welcome. Breakaway Ray, would you like to tell everyone how they can find you?
All right. Well, I'm Breakaway Ray. I'm the host of Star Card Podcast. You can find me on YouTube. Now, we might be entering a little lull. I got some transition going on in my real life, so I may not be able to break out a couple of shows a week like I have been. But don't give up on me. Subscribe, hit the notifications button, and I'll be back to pump you up and throw tarot cards for you. So thank you very much. I appreciate being here and being part of your show.
Jim and Matt, how can we find you?
Where you at, Matt?
I'm everywhere's in between. You can find me through the spirit world. You could check me out.
Check
with
me out.
Gaia.
Yeah, of course we're Tennessee Kentucky Bigfoot. That's where we try to put most of our stuff. But he does on his channel,
Logically
insane. He drops shorts and stuff. We try to keep separated, but we don't do it. Sometimes he's got good stuff on his channel too. So check him out too. And I want to say that we love meeting with you, especially YouTube, because you guys, for your love for the truth, you really like to pull it out. And man, we just love. I think you guys are definitely our favorite interviewers because you help us pull out stuff that it's just not a lot of people are just not in love with the truth as much as you guys. So we just thank you guys for bringing the questions and expounding, because we learned so much. We would have never pulled out if you guys hadn't have had just that love for the truth. And so thank you guys.
Yeah, we're very curious, and I'm very random. Ray's very organized, so we're a nice balance.
Right. Gaia does want to come in and say that there's a lot of information that's already flooding out there right now. There's plentiful of information for people to expound on. And just like this, the way y'all bring out certain information and she brings in new information through me and such. However, that's what's going on. We got a lot of information, a lot of truth is coming out, and we need each other put in your part. Everyone inside that little tiny camera right here. Everybody in you. Yes. Bring it out. We all got something to put on the table. Ain't that crazy? We all got something. And if you put one thing out, you changed the whole paradigm of the whole day for everybody else around you. That's how it works around here. Yeah, and spirit world and the physical, and that's what Gaia's showing me. Yeah, the Great Awakening. That's like an antique word, right? But that's what's happening, right? It is the Great Awakening.
Yeah.
Antique word. Yeah. I like that
old word. We've been using it forever. Everybody, when are we going to wake up? Well, it looks like we're doing a lot of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We're stepping right up. I mean, I know personally, I've leaps and bounds. Some of the words, some of the conversations I'm having are so far advanced what I was doing a year ago and things like that. And it's meeting with you guys like this. It's really inspiring, and we're all sitting here writing notes from each other, and I love it. So I'll listen back to this one quite a lot. So thank you to everyone for watching our video. We'll definitely do a part 3 in the next month or so if we can. And if anyone's got any comments, pop them down below. Any questions for the guys, and we'll try and answer. I'm going to put this on premiere, so hopefully people will join us as well when I premiere it. So that's brilliant.
Woohoo!
We try and stop now.
It's a coming part.